Over the past few years, Clash of Clans has had its fair share of updates, with the new town halls, heroes, hero pets, and so much more. Each update, whether a major one like the Town Hall 16 update or something much smaller, adds a lot of features to the game. However, in the evolution of Clash of Clans and Clash history, there have been several features that have been removed, and that's what I'll be going over today. Although there have been previous videos about this before, I feel like they are kind of outdated and I wanted to provide a more recent cover. Also, a big shout out to the Clash of Clans wiki. This video and many others are not possible without your help, so thanks a lot. Starting things off, we have the removal of flags. Ever since I could remember, flags were always a part of the game. They were a neat decoration that allowed you to represent any country you wanted. However, national flags were officially removed on June 27th, 2022. According to Supercell, the reason for this is because the Clash universe is a fantasy realm with a cast of wild, zany, and often humorous characters, and while some things in Clash may draw ideas from various inspirations, we want to keep the Clash universe separate from real-life references. That's exactly what the Clash team said. However, it's quite obvious that the flags were removed for other reasons. National flags were most likely removed due to their potential association with real-world conflicts and national tensions. This is likely to have been done to avoid any possible misinterpretations of the game's content by players or the wider public, and to maintain a neutral and fair gameplay environment. Next up is the ability to sell your buildings. Back in the old days of Clash of Clans, and I'm talking way back before November 19th, 2012, players were able to sell their buildings, which, if you ask me, was kind of weird and unnecessary, and that's exactly why it was removed later on, due to the feature being unnecessary and that it led to abuse. It's also worth mentioning that some players were unintentionally erasing their buildings. In fact, 7 years after that, Galadon Gaming, a creator, exposed an extremely old player who sold his town hall, and the player was banned for hacking and being inactive. Moving on, we have probably the saddest removed feature, which is global chat. Although I can't say much positive about the feature, I mean, it was used to advertise and people were just really not following the simple rules of just having to be nice and respecting your fellow clashers. It was really cool to be able to interact with other clans and players who are outside of your clan. The feature was removed from the game due to security reasons, and it was also too much of a hassle for Supercell to manage the global chat because players, especially minors all over the world playing the game, were prone to harassment and bullying. Global chat was terminated in the October 16, 2019 update. The next feature is kind of a weird one. Clash of Clans used to give out a personal break message, which would inform players that they needed to take a break. The message would then say, "You have been playing for too long and your villagers need to rest for a few minutes," which then would prompt you to reload your game, which is kind of strange, but reading more into this, it was made as players were finding unfair ways of staying online all day and preventing their village from being attacked. As a countermeasure, Supercell added a break limit where players have to take a break after continuously playing for a long time. Supercell removed the feature later in late 2023 due to it no longer being necessary in the higher leagues where it was originally made for. Moving forward to some troop mechanics and ideas that have not necessarily been removed but just scrapped. The first one comes from Reddit, where a Reddit user asked Darian, the community manager, whether or not they were able to share any ideas or concepts that were scrapped. And Darian replied saying that the ELIXER monster was a drop concept that the team was prototyping during the release of Town Hall 12. They were thinking of making the ELIXER monster into a troop that gained strength and size as it destroyed things, and then would drop a rage spell when killed, which I don't know about you guys, but sounds quite awesome, and kind of reminds me of the size of the mountain golem or maybe even the king with the new giant gauntlet equipment. Although the mechanics were really cool, the concept was way too complex for the average player, and it also had a lot of further implications that needed to be tweaked. So Darian ended the post by saying, "It's a troop we might save for a rainy day and tweak it a bit to see if we can get it to balance correctly," meaning that there is a possibility the home village could see a new troop, maybe for Town Hall 16. As for another troop concept that was also removed and left on the side was the Goblin Glider. The Goblin Glider was another response to another Reddit user who was asking Darian a similar question to the one previously mentioned. Darian says that as they are coming up with new Town Hall content, they try to prototype new ideas, and just like before when working with the Town Hall 12 update, one of the prototypes that came up was a Goblin Glider, which basically flew into the base on a glider and then dropped down to attack resource storages and collectors. Although it didn't make the final cut, Darian said that's what helped to inspire the Clash team to create the Hog Glider in the builder base. Pretty cool if you ask me. Next up, the Rare Stone Obstacle, which is one of the rarest, if not the rarest obstacle in Clash of Clans. It used to spawn at the village base in the early stages of the game. Some say it only spawned within the first month of the game's release, but was later removed by Supercell due to unknown reasons. It was said to be the original Big Rock design right when the game came out in 2012. Supercell later changed it to the Big Rock we now have and have come to love. There are quite a few people who have the rare stone on their base, but they removed it unknowingly. It's said though that there may be an extremely rare chance that it will be there when you start a new game. You never know. Finishing this video off with two of the most annoying removed features, which in my opinion is a great job that Supercell removed them, are reloading defenses, rearming traps, and removing troop costs. God, I remember the days every single time I would log back onto my base, I would come back to see my base in shambles, and I had to rearm every single trap and defense via the Town Hall. Worst part is to attack and to train my army, I needed to spend even more resources on cooking up the troops. Thankfully, those features were removed in the April 2nd, 2019 update. Instead, Supercell made it so that defenses and traps now automatically get repaired once the player logs into the game. Well guys, you've made it to the end of the video, and those were some of the removed and changed features of Clash of Clans. So far, there aren't any major new ones that have been removed from the Town Hall 16 update. However, feel free to let me know if I did miss anything in the comments down below. And also let me know if you have any future video ideas. Thanks for watching, peace out, and take care.